How you doing? I'm Stephen G. Forward, and this is Miranda Mims, and we're so happy that you're here with us today. I am super excited and super stoked that you guys joined us today. I want to tell you a little bit more about the Nomadic Archivist Project. We are a project, an initiative, a coalition. We work with Black people in archives, full stop. So that could mean doing workshops around preservation, it could mean working with an institution. We're very interested in Black people having access to good information as well as their own information. And so you can find us at the Nomadic Archivist Project.com. And you could find out more
Mhm.
about some of the things that we do, including in the Telling, which is a global Black family podcast where we talk with folks who want to share a family story. We're also in our fifth season, so please come and check us out. We really appreciate that. I also want to tell you about the NAP Scholarship. I think we're in our fifth or sixth year with,
No.
oh, wow. Wait a minute. Are we in
Well,
the
we
seventh year?
well we started 2020.
We started in
So
2020.
what is
Okay.
that? That's six. So we're in the sixth year.
We're in the sixth year. In the sixth year
Yes, but
of
we've had multiple winners,
Yes, we've had
awardees
multiple
within
winners.
that
For
time
some
period.
years, we have two winners exactly.
Hmm.
And so,
Yes.
if you are a library school student who's interested in going to the Society of American Archivists conference, I believe it's in New Orleans this year,
Yes.
or an independent
Excited.
archivist who has a really interesting project that you would like co-sponsored or sponsored, please check us out. We're very interested in possibly, funding you. So go to nomadicarchivistproject.com/scholarship to learn more about the project. And so,
Yes. And you
good
have to March
evening.
31st, everyone. March
Oh,
31st.
that's
And it's a
right. You know, I have it
very,
right
very
here.
easy application. Anybody of African descent, we just
Yes.
ask for a headshot and a brief bio and what you're
Hmm.
doing, what you want us to help support. And then, I think a resume, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
But
get a
that's it. So
resume.
it's
Yeah.
it's pretty easy, yeah. And then
We're
you have us for a year too. So if you need to just like chat with us or consult with us, we'll be in community with you. Hey
as
everyone out there. We hope you're doing good on this Tuesday. It feels
yes.
like here in Western New York, very close to Toronto, it's starting to feel a little bit like spring. I could smell it in the air today.
That's good because upstate New York can be very like cold a lot of the time, and so I don't know when
Yes.
spring comes for you guys.
I don't know
But he
either, but
So a friend of mine told me yesterday that New York City has had its last coldest day yesterday. I don't know how they
oh,
figure that out, but I love
how
it.
do they know?
How will they know? They just trust their instruments, I guess.
Okay. They have very powerful instruments, it sounds like.
Very powerful instruments. And so
Mhm.
what I'm super stoked about today is our conversation, Miranda. Do you know why?
No, Stephen, why? Because you're in conversation with me?
Because I'm in conversation with you, one, and then two, our conversation itself will be about my experience at the Black Information Futures Symposium. I just returned from there from last week. It was from February 21st through the 23rd, and we had such an
Where was
amazing
it?
time. It was at the University of Washington at the Information School, and the convener was Tracy Hall, who basically just waves a wand and things just happen because she's so connected and so integrated into the community and has done amazing things. And if you didn't know, she's a former past president of the American Library Association. So she
Right.
is she is the business. In fact, she is the professor of practice and distinguished practitioner in residence at the Information School at the University of Washington.
That's a lot.
What else would you like to know?
That's incredible. Well, before we dive into what this is, because I actually like you to unpack that title. It's a big title
Hmm.
for us. Tanya says, that, and Tanya is also, she's in the Bronx, so she's not quite in Harlem, but
Uh,
she's around the corner and she thinks it's cold. She doesn't know what you're talking about.
what I think she does is all a matter about what's cold. Because for me, it's awesome. It is awesome. There's a little bit of rain going on tonight and into tomorrow, I guess, in terms of the forecast, but overall, I'm all fine with it. Put on the coat and the hat, boop, you out of there.
Okay.
As
As long as you have a hat.
long as you have a hat and
on
a
that
coat. Yeah.
on that shiny head. So okay. So what's the name of it again? What was the name of the symposium?
The symposium is the Black Information Futures Symposium.
Okay, Black Information Futures.
Futures Symposium. Yes.
Black Information Futures. What's that?
Symposium.
What's that? What's that mean?
It means
Unpack that
that
for us, Stephen.
I'm going to unpack it for you in the words of Tracy Hall herself. And
Okay.
really, the project came together because what it is defined as the ability of Black people to gain equitable analog and digital access to the information and information technologies needed to achieve and sustain social agency, authorship, educational attainment, economic stability and mobility, environmental responsiveness and stewardship, and collective well-being. So
Okay.
as you can see from that long list of things are all very
Hmm.
important things in terms of how Black people get, manage, and sustain information for their communities, for their families, for their institutions, and so forth. So when she invited a lot of us to be a part of this particular project, I was in
Hmm.
immediately because it's largely what NAP is doing. NAP is trying to likes to align itself with these kinds of initiatives.
Right. Okay. So who would you say the symposium was for? Like who would you say
Mhm.
would probably be the audience for an event like this?
So what's really wonderful is like when it comes to Black information, it's not solely the people who produce it or manage it. They could be folks who are um who are artists or who are activists. And so
Okay.
there were an
Okay.
array of people at this particular conference, technologists, folks who worked in digital as assets, but not necessarily connected to a library. There were storytellers. There were folks building genealogical websites. There were all these different sort of categories and areas in which people were able to, well, take a breath and begin and to talk with other people about these kinds of work without
Got
having
it.
to preface why they did it. We understood why they did it. So it was a really great environment for that. 3 days, 3 days of amazing sort of sharing out the information. The first day and a half was connected to folks who were in the library field, folks who are doing archivist
Hmm.
work and so forth. And then the following day, last part of the day, and the day following, the community was invited in along with a lot of students from the library school as well as other
Oh,
staff
okay.
members on campus. So it was a good moment to begin to talk with other practitioners about your work, and then build that out for other folks to kind of come in with their thinking about it and their interest.
So if you're with us right now and you went to the conference or the symposium, or you knew about the symposium, or you experienced it in any kind of way, let us know what your
Please.
thoughts are
Mhm.
about it and why it was important to have this symposium, especially now. So I guess that's a question I would ask to you too, Stephen. Like how did this come about and why now?
So it came about. This is the brainchild of Tracy Hall specifically,
Mhm.
and it's really a response to the ways in which Black information, Black legacy in general, is being erased and or minimized in
Mhm.
our institutions, in our I was going to say, the monuments and other ways. And so it's a response to that. And it also carries on information, the information that we've been building out for years, building monuments, building these collections. So it's business as usual, but now we're like, okay, let's take a look at this a little closer because there right now we see that our monuments are being changed or being erased or being ignored or being minimized. And really, you've got a bunch of people who are like, we're not going to have that, we're not interested. And so initially it started out with the project. Tracy got a few of us together to go down to Montgomery and to begin discussing what would this project initiative look like? What could it look like? Would it be a
Mm.
symposium? Would it be a number of things? And so what I love is there is, I have to stop for a second, and because one of my beautiful colleagues, Makiba Foster, formerly at the Schomburg Center, I'm very happy that she's here. She said she finally made it here. Thank you. We're so happy that you're here, Makiba. And it was so great
Mhm.
talking with you. So please, we're trying to have a conversation. We would love for you to come in with your take on what happened in June last year, because it was less than a year that this symposium came together. And it was
Yeah,
a
it's like 8 months
tremendous,
or something. Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, it was less than a year. And it's so,
Mhm.
so awesome that being talking to people with like minds about this particular moment. A lot of folks came from different perspectives on it. Obviously, different parts of the U.S., and we had one person from Birmingham, in the UK. So it was really well attended, well rounded out, and well planned.
Okay. So what were some of the
Mhm.
different perspectives? What were some of the different things that people, what were some of the bigger themes that people were talking about? I guess maybe start there and we
I
can
guess
drill
some of the
down.
bigger themes, I mean, and I sort of touched on this, is how best to do this preservation in this environment, right? How to
Mm-hmm.
best get funded, how to think about
Mm.
archives in a much larger scale, with monuments, with oral history. Oral history was a really big one because there were so many storytellers and people thinking about how to
Oh,
bring that
okay.
sound dimension in to, and how to preserve. And so now we have yet another person in the chat who finally
Yes.
woke up and is watching right now. Hello, Reese.
That's Reese
Good to see
Mims.
you.
That's my mother,
Yes.
who wasn't
Mom, we
feeling
hold
well
it down.
today. So I'm glad that she's,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, here right
oh.
now.
We're so glad that you made it, Reese. Another theme was community. Well, community is responsible for taking care of not just its own stuff, but also the things in institutions, right? So
Okay.
practitioners are trying to do what they need to do to take care of their materials, and also sharing out stories where we could, you're building community around resources and what's possible. There was a tremendous amount of when we're going to do this again, which was awesome. And so
Okay. So
Tracy
that's good.
again is thinking, along with the co-curators of the symposium, and I want to read their names because they're so freaking awesome: Jada Jones, Kimberly Crutcher, Dr. Timi Odumusu, Odomusu, Sarah Thomas, excuse me, Sarah Harris, uh, Krista Hardy, Angela Smith, our beloved Makiba Foster, my ace boon coon, Erica Owen, with assistance from Brandon, who worked technology at the conference, who works at UW. So yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of community here
a
and
lot of great
brilliance.
minds. Mm-hmm.
Lots of great minds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just saying hello to Lee, who's out there with us. Hey
Hello,
Lee,
Lee.
if you're here with us, definitely say hi. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes. Yeah, I
This
believe
is
you did say
definitely a
hi earlier.
conversation. Did we
Yes.
say hi to Lee earlier?
We didn't say hi to
Okay.
Lee earlier, but thank you, Lee, for saying hello to us. We appreciate it. We like to run our mouths quite a bit. We definitely want to invite anyone to sort of think about, what does saving Black information really mean, and how can you do it in an environment like this? Because that was largely, again, the theme of it, coming from different perspectives.
And would you say that, it seems like we've gone through, there's been like these turbulent times and then these
Hmm.
times of more, I would just say action or
Hmm.
awareness or maybe visibility. That might be the
Okay.
better word to use. So, like really looking right now, this moment is definitely very combative when it comes
Hmm.
to, our culture, our material culture, our history, our thoughts,
Hmm.
our
Yes.
bodies,
Hmm.
everything. So, but there, but this is a theme here. And so if you're joining us from outside of the US, it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts when it comes to like the global Black world and some of these
Right. Right.
ideas.
Hmm.
But in the US, it's a theme.
Hmm.
So was this something that also came up within the symposium of just sort of like thinking about, this long legacy that we've had when it comes to
Hmm.
erasure, and the changes that this moment presents that are different from other moments, or we already have the tools and the skills because we've
Hmm.
lived through
Hmm.
this through generations. And so because I did see in the program there was like a look back to ancestors, and so I'm
Hmm.
just wondering, like, how are we and how were the people who attended thinking about this in like the wider historical context of sort of Black
Hmm.
erasure of material culture in the U.S.?
My sense is, and it's a very good question. My sense is that we've been here before.
Yeah.
That folks had that. And I remember saying on the closing panel that I felt really optimistic in that I see the tools. It really easy. Like it was just really
Right.
clear. It was based on the way people presented around storytelling and keeping that
Yeah.
memory alive. It was around there's a project called King Kofa out of Chicago, and they have this wonderful database that improves on the model, the ancestry.com model, and they just really take into Black
Oh,
aesthetic in the most
okay.
amazing way. Yeah, I'll share more information about them maybe in the chat in a second. And feeling very,
Mhm.
feeling very much like we have each other, and we've always had each other's. Largely, sometimes not knowing what other people are doing. Right.
Mhm.
So
Right.
there is, as I mentioned, here's my lovely shirt.
Oh, is that the shirt from the conference or the
This is a shirt
symposium?
from
I
the
keep saying
conference.
conference.
Yes.
Oh,
There we
I
go.
love it.
And
It's
I
got
want
the
to share the
Sankofa. It's got the
yes,
Sankofa, so it's definitely looking back.
definitely looking back and looking forward. So we that's the whole
Right.
futures part of it. And speaking of future, we have a quote on the back of the shirt I want to share with folks that I think is really powerful. And that is a quote from our beloved Octavia Butler. All that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. And I think this is
Mm.
really powerful because the agency, like there was a lot of agency in the room. There were people who were practitioners for over 40 years doing work,
Mhm.
younger folks who were kind of getting their feet wet, who were becoming, information specialists in school for that. And there were just the folks from a variety of other professions who have been doing such amazing work that it was hard not to be caught up in the beauty of it all, but also the inspiration of it all. It,
Yeah.
we have the tools. We like there's no new racism. There's no
No.
new racism. It's just about um erasing and erasure and obscuring and misinformation and disinformation, all the things. It's really about moving forward in different ways to save this stuff. And so, and Kiba Foster, my Ohio sister, says that it was a beautiful experience. Yes, yes, it was.
Oh
Oh,
yeah. Opacity of
oh, okay, I
protection.
love that. Very agreed. Yes, and that's it's part of the reason why I'm glad, Miranda, that you invited me on to talk about my experiences, because it's helping me think through the kinds of work I want to do with the Black Information Futures, as well as how best to keep um everybody ain't got to know everything. Everybody ain't got to know everything. Everybody ain't got to know everything. Three times, it's an incantation. So I really appreciate that. It was one of those when we met last night to debrief, a lot of folks were still mulling over the experience, still sitting with it because it was so transformative.
Okay.
There's nothing like being in a room full of people who love on Black people and love on Black culture and history and are doing something about that.
So you in did you were you on a panel? Did you give a talk? Did you give a talk about something, Stephen? Or
Well,
did you just
no,
moderate all of them?
I moderated 4 panels, and I
Oh,
also
that's a
sat
lot.
on. It was great
You were
because it was
busy.
one of the
You were
ways
busy.
we let me tell you, the curatorial committee was working, setting up, breaking down, making sure the food was there, doing tech.
Making
These
sure
the people
people
that I
were nice
read,
and fed.
these
Okay.
co-curators, we did it. I think I told Tracy the only thing I thought was missing was dancing, just a nice dance party at the end, because that is also a form of not just release but also like just community,
Right.
being able to dance
Yeah.
with people. So
Okay.
it's
Well, you got to bring Leon next time because
we
I'm
got to
sure
bring
he can.
Lee on.
Yeah,
Lee's
he
got
can
to
get a
come
dance.
on in.
He can get a playlist and
Lee
a
will
dance party for
Lee
us,
will work out
for
that
you.
for us. Yes. And so, well, thank you, Chidiation. I'm going to show on screen. And I agree with you. We have the tools and know-how and simply need more opportunities to be in the same spaces to share what tools we use or have knowledge of. Absolutely. It went back. I'm going to show the screen because I didn't get the last part. Same space can be virtual too because that makes it accessible. Agreed.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
I think the
Absolutely.
sharing of it, you know, and just sharing ideas, like not only sharing what you're doing, but also like you were talking about, like just sharing ideas and like coming together and
Hmm.
thinking through things is
Yeah.
also really important. Because although this feels similar to past experiences, it still is different. There are things that
Yes.
are different. You know, technology is different. The way that
Absolutely.
we are
Yeah.
thinking about things are different. The type of things that are happening, you know, they feel similar, but there are nuances. And so
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think, you know, like having always coming together and continuously talking about these things,
Absolutely.
and building together and sharing together is really powerful.
Hmm. No,
Um,
you said it. Oh,
oh,
we
okay.
got
So
Lee.
Lee says Black in Space is ready. Okay. He's coming
Eh,
with Black in Space
we
with
got
the
you. We
with the
got you,
future
Lee.
soundtracks.
With the future soundtracks. Yes, ain't no
Mhm.
stopping us now. McFadden and Whitehead. We are here. We've been here, and we're so far in the future. Right now, we're just catching up with ourselves as far as this work goes. Because to your point, Miranda, this work has been going on forever. The Color People's Convention, people doing genealogy, people trying to preserve monuments in their town that tell us what the history, what happened here at this house, what happened here in this park, what happened here in Selma, and so forth. So the work is being done. The work is being done, and there are a lot of people who would like to know more about how to do it. So my approach is no one's going to save anybody. What we're doing is we're having conversations and working with each other in different ways to preserve Black culture and history. So I'm super excited. I can't believe that it's over, and it went so quickly. It went very quick,
Was
very quick.
anybody talking at the symposium about maybe some of the new concerns around what preserving Black history means? um there's this, you know, there's also a dialogue of like the right to be forgotten, or
Right,
this
right, right,
idea
right.
that just because it's created and
Mm-hmm,
it's
mm-hmm,
amazing doesn't mean that it's for everyone and for the public. Was
mm-hmm.
that something that came up at all, that
Some of
you
those
were, I know
concerns
you
did.
couldn't go to everything, so
Right,
you
right,
know.
right.
Right,
Well,
yeah,
some of
so like
those concerns did
that
come up. The
acknowledgement
right to
out
be
there.
forgotten, maybe not in that language, but definitely that everything isn't for public consumption. Everything doesn't need to be saved. That did come up in different programs that different panels I was on or moderated rather, and it was, I think, that opacity that Makiba talked or just commented about is really key. Like it encompasses for me a number of ways in which we can make choices, right? But that's the point. The point is to give the choice. The choice isn't the constant. There's been um, in the past, there's been a lot of you don't have a choice. This isn't yours. This is not your culture. This is our culture. We do this. What you have doesn't make any difference because we're the dominant culture. And I'm like, even when that was happening, people were quilting, they were making songs, they were creating recipes, they were charting. There's a woman who did the technologies of Harriet Tubman, this amazing, amazing presentation where she just broke it down. We're looking at the stars. The stars were guiding. Harriet was using the stars to guide her. Sounds, drums, quilts. These are really important technologies for us to think about, but we maybe not consider them technologies, but they are. They help us, and they helped her do all the work that she did. And now we know
Mhm.
her, thank goodness. And so
Right.
it was expanding my ideas about what's possible, what's possible in this moment. So, yes, there was some discussion about, and I think these are budding conversations in some areas because some folks are very thoughtful about how best to save Black culture and preserve it, but also, again, as I mentioned earlier, some things ain't got to be out there. That's it. And so, Makiba, I'll let you read them, Mimsy.
Okay, so it was great to discuss practices of Black birth. This conversation was critical. Oh, to bringing me back to center. I can't actively preserve Black people's content without honoring the work of Black midwifery. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's real. That is so real. And so,
What did you? Okay, so now I have questions.
Hey,
I have
Makiba,
questions
let's.
for you, Makiba.
But that's a
Great to
powerful thing.
discuss practices of Black birth.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So were you a part of those conversations, Stephen? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
So I well, let's ask. There's a question here. I mean, a comment I think is important. Agreed. As a birth worker, I love learning about the work going on in Mississippi and the granny midwife's history, which is so freaking
Mm,
awesome. Freaking awesome. There is a woman by the name of Linda Holmes who just wrote a book.
mhm.
I believe I have it. Gosh, I wish I had it right here. Ah, it's called Safe in the
Stephen,
Mid.
you're always so close to your bookshelf.
I mean, right there. I love it. I love it. And this is so powerful because the woman who was giving the talk, I said I'll send you her information so they could talk because it's been going on for a while that people are doulas and they're doing all this really interesting work around Black birth. And I know that Linda had been working on this book for years. Thank goodness it's out in the world and we can share it and share this information. And there are other ways that that kind of recording can go on as well. And
Mhm.
also the kinds of laws that were put in place so that everyone would go to a hospital. So it's I want to
Right.
know more about that, you know.
Right. Okay. And you mentioned earlier like storytelling and oral histories,
Hmm.
which is I think the symbol of Sankofa. That's a big a part of that idea. But what were people talking about in terms of like storytelling today, like in 2026, I guess?
Well, so these were some of the if anyone out there went to these storytelling sessions, I wasn't able to go
Oh, you
because I was in
weren't
another
okay.
session.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and so I also want to mention well, for some reason I come up twice here, but I just put in the latest information on the Black Information Futures Initiative. So it gives you a nice overall about the origin of the project, but also there was a video that Makiba and I did. It was called the Calma Roundtable Mapping the Black Information Futures, and she and I, Jada Jones and Tracy Hall, had a conversation about
Okay.
this project. And so I'm also going to link that here as well. And Makiba says,
So if you're out there in the future, you should be able to access these links. If you're watching us in the future, you should be able to access these links in the chat part of the video. But so thank you, Stephen. And you know what? Maybe I'll put it in the description too. I know you want to
okay.
read that, but I'll put it in the description so people in the future could get it.
And so thank you, Makiba. I had never been a part of a Black Memory Work meeting where Black birth and practices was discussed in various ways. Here we go again.
I mean,
Black
me,
birth is Black Information Futures completely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
me either.
100%.
Typically, I feel like most of, and I guess I call it my mom here. Most of the things that I hear about or the things I gravitate towards are more about transitioning, like Black transitioning and what that looks
Yes.
like.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
right. And so,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
I rarely ever do think about this concept of Black birth. And so, um, oh, you're fine, Makiba. There's no such thing as bad grammar or
We
typos with
got your
this. This is just a
meaning.
conversation. This is just a
We got your meaning.
conversation. That's it. We're just, we're
We'll
just
be
chilling. That's
grading
why
your
it's called the
comments later.
kickback. It's just a kickback. So, but yeah, so I mean, that's fascinating to me. So I'm glad that you brought that up because I'd like to look into that because I haven't
Hmm.
heard about that. That hasn't really been in a lot of the conversations that I've been a part of.
Hmm.
So it's fascinating to me. I wish, yeah. That's so I guess this is a question then for all of us out here who have not been able to go to the symposium. Was any
Hmm.
of this recorded? Is it any of this accessible to all of us who weren't fortunate enough to be in these spaces? Or
Hmm.
is it something that we just got to get it when the next symposium comes out?
Well, there will be a
Yeah.
proceedings,
Okay.
and there will be some other component of sharing this information. I really can't talk about it right now because I don't fully know about it, but I do know
Okay.
that there will be a proceedings, and so
Okay.
in addition, there will be additional programming, virtual programming, as well as other in on site, kinds of gatherings. So just stay in touch with us so that with the Black Information Futures initiative, Tracy D. Hall, she we're all working together to figure out what the next steps are, but definitely.
So is the program accessible for people to look at so they can at least see who was speaking about what and maybe look a
Oh,
little bit
that's a
more
good
into
point.
what their research is or what they're doing?
Yes, we will add that program, a link to that program or a PDF to that program
Okay.
when this goes up. So I'll have that
Okay.
ready for people because
Yes.
looking at those presentations, the titles were out of this world, and the presentations that I witnessed and moderated were out of this world. It was just so sumptuous. It's one of those things where you wanted to go to everything, but you had to prioritize which one you really wanted to see. So yeah.
So how many people were there? How big was it?
I think on last count, so overall there are 187 attendees.
Okay.
There were
Okay. It's a good
76
number.
presenters, four moderators, and then there were the UW folks who came and worked with our technology. We were in three different buildings, so every place we went, the staff there was really wonderful and helped us like pull it off. So it was tremendous. It was tremendous.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds
That's
amazing.
it was amazing, and
Mhm.
it's funny because I have a lot to say about it, and I wrote about it as I was, taking notes, but also just writing about how I felt about it. But I have to think about what Makiba said. She's just sitting with it, and there's still more I have to consider and kind of think about the enormity of what I experienced. And these are people I hope to connect with for the rest of my natural Black life. How about that?
How about that? So for those of us who weren't able to go, Stephen, what are some of the things that you would say like if we're interested in knowing more, exploring more, like are there any resources or any things that you would think about um sharing with us that we could like sort of look into or get into or think about or reflect on some of the things that
Hmm.
came out. I mean, you already talked about a lot of amazing things,
Hmm.
but I'm just
Hmm.
wondering if there are some like I don't know some tangible things that people can take away and think
So,
about that couldn't actually physically be there.
so I want to point out something I mentioned earlier about the PDF of the program that'll be
Yes,
attached to this. Just really look at the scope, which was wide ranging, and look at the kinds of relationships that were being shared, but also hopefully developed and were built at this conference. Would also engage people to think about what saving Black information means to them personally and professionally, if they're professionals, and no matter what kind of professional, or not just an archivist or librarian, but someone who feels like they want to do something, because I think that it's all hands on board. So it's not just the professionals who do this work, it's the community worker, it's the activists, it's the artists. And so when you think about what Black Information Futures means to you, and then you figure out, okay, I have some idea about it, but also how can I contribute to that effort? I think that's important. It was one of those, it was one of the running themes through the symposium for me was this is what we're doing. How can we either increase it, share information out about it, um, be in league with other folks who do this work? It was just a big ass hug. It was a big hug. And I think I came back and I said to my friend Christopher, who runs the ITLA 2.0, which is an oral history project focusing on Black queer folk,
in
that
the
I wish
life
I could have, and
2.0.
in the life, yeah. Sorry, ITLO. I don't know why I said the acronym without saying the actual thing. Thank you. I wish I could have brought a bunch of people with me, like everybody at the Schomburg, you, Christopher, because I know you guys would have had an amazing time. It was, you want to be in community with folks who do this kind of work.
I like what you said about, it's people, it's also something to think about for people who are not in
Absolutely.
this line of work, which I think is a big piece to this, like how to be a part of thinking about saving or, just being a part of this amazing experience of
Mhm.
um preserving Black. material culture, or
Right.
Black thought, if it's oral
Hmm.
histories, as you were talking about, Black storytelling. Because I think a lot of people who don't think of themselves as memory workers, or would never
Right.
even like utter the
Hmm.
word archivist or librarian, are doing this. And I think it's also just about that awareness building, that visibility of knowing, like if you're in your own community and there's this amazing shop that's been around recently on the radio station here in Rochester, the Black radio station, WDKX. They were talking about this store called All Day Sunday, which was like the big store in the 80s and the 90s. And they had like the cross colors, and you get the
Oh, nice.
sprayed t-shirts, because everybody, that's what we did. We get our name. I think your generation different from me, but we would get, like our names, sprayed across our white tees, everything was like color. And this store had all of that. And it was in,
Hmm.
Rochester's downtown mall, which does not exist anymore. And the store
Hmm.
doesn't exist anymore. I don't really know what happened to the store, but I was
Hmm.
thinking about that and I was like, oh man, like that was an incredible space, especially in a place like Rochester, New York, an
Hmm.
incredible Black owned, really for Black, community. And
Hmm.
thinking about like, I was young at that point when that store probably closed. But had I not been, to just be able to talk to them, be like, what, we got to wait, we got to make sure
Hmm.
that your legacy is not, and it's not forgotten. I mean, it was 2026 and we're still talking about
Right.
All Day Sunday. It's not forgotten. It's not like that. It's out of our minds. But there's so many generations of people who didn't experience it the way that we did. And how can we be involved in that? How can we be involved in just like thinking about like what's around us that we love, that has helped shape us and help love us and
Right.
help build us?
Hmm.
And how can we be, if we don't think of ourselves as an information professional, how can
Hmm.
we be a part of that conversation? How can we be a part of that process? So I like that you also took it out of just, being, you have to
Hmm.
be, this sort of title, or you have to know something. You really don't. You just have to, be there and be interested.
I heard something earlier to your point, and it was on the radio. We're all listening to radio these days. The radio where this guy goes, there are people, strategy and planning are two different things. So you can plan for something forever and never be ready to actually do the thing. Strategy is you jump in and you go into that thing in that case. And so for folks who feel like they don't have the agency to do it, I'm going to say yes, you do. So you just start your oral history, you just start your archive, you start your thing, and you learn along the way how to best take care of it. There is a comment I want to
Yes, I think,
show.
yeah, because I think Jediation is talking about that.
Yes, I'd love to see some virtual meetups. I presented on being a memory worker fellow with the
Oh,
autistic, sorry, with the Autistic Voices Oral History Project, and I plan to continue interviewing Black autistic people, and would benefit from being in learning community with other oral historians. That's awesome. Yes.
okay.
I love the work you're doing. Yes. And that's a under that community is an under archived as well as a recognized community. So the oral histories are really powerful. I'm glad that you're doing it. And as far as community goes, I see on IG, I swear it's obviously the algorithm, but there's an oral history project popping up everywhere, like all throughout the US and abroad, with folks who find this work necessary, and they find ways to do it, fund it, help people, have really ethical practices, protecting people. It's been, I would say, the last 5 years, I've seen more oral history projects than I've ever seen in my life. I know part of it's the internet, but also it's part of the need for people to tell their own stories, and the importance of it. So
Do you know of any virtual meetups that specifically are around oral history?
no, I don't at the moment, but something I can look into though.
Okay.
And so
Maybe that's
yes,
something that you could start. Yeah.
that's actually, yeah. It's funny. Were you talking to me, or you're talking to make it happen? I'm just going to
Hmm.
with a smile. And so, because there is a
I mean,
community of
maybe we
folks.
could do, so part of what we're trying to do on this channel is to just kind of see what people are interested in talking about,
Yeah. Hmm.
and then, bringing people in so that we can all be in
Hmm.
conversation together. So, maybe we could do, more, here kickbacks around
Hmm.
just oral histories and getting people who are already doing this work. You mentioned Christopher.
Yep.
Christopher's doing an amazing oral history project. We know a lot of people who are doing a lot of and Christopher is not a well anyway. So I think there's a lot of people doing this work, and as you said, definitely internationally. So it'd be interesting. Um,
All right.
it'd be interesting to maybe do something around oral histories on the channel.
I love it. I love it. I'm a community organizer turned librarian archivist, so I'm already thinking of how. Okay, reach out to us, and maybe we can be your thought partners on it. And I like what Miranda's suggesting as well, because when it comes to the kickback, we conceived it as a space that was malleable and that would meet and meet the needs of the folk and chat with folks, and
Yeah, maybe we can have you on one time, and you can let us
that would be
know, like, in
awesome.
better detail of what you're up to. I'm sure
Yeah,
people would be very interested.
and the kind of support
Um,
that you're interested in. Okay, Makiba, Miranda, can
oh, I guess that means Miranda put it up on the screen. But here we go. I would ask people what principles would they want BIF to uphold that would keep them connected and invested in the project.
really good point. Yes, really, really good point. And so we got to take that to our next meeting, Makiba. That's awesome. That's pretty awesome and necessary, because I mentioned yesterday that no one needs to be saved. Folks just need to be engaged, right? And folks are doing things all the time, so it's really about providing space to to engage people and to support them, you know, and the kinds of things
Yeah.
they're interested in.
Well, I mean, I definitely like the engagement piece because, it definitely shows that there's an interest in sort of like collectively learning and thinking about these things, um, instead of it being about dictatorship. Dictatorship sounds like a bigger word than I meant. Just a little more prescribed. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So I didn't realize that put these both up because they're kind of indifferent.
Hey, Reese.
Yeah. Um, oops, nope, this one. Okay, all day Sunday. So she said loved all day Sunday. I didn't realize that you went to all day Sunday. Maybe
All day
my
Sunday.
memory is so terrible. So um
That is
I've imagined
hilarious.
that's where I got my money from to go buy my cross colors.
There you go. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm an elder, Miranda, so I don't know what you're talking about. So thank goodness you explained it to me. It's so awesome.
You do know what cross colors are.
Of course I do. It was the way you were
Oh,
saying the
okay.
situation above me. I was like,
Well, I can't imagine you were wearing it. I guess were you? Did you?
well, I think you're
So
about the.
okay,
I
so
think my
maybe let me
kid
not
is.
assume. I'm gonna take it all back,
Yes,
and I'm
my
gonna
kid is about your
assume
age. Yes, I have a kid
yes.
roughly about your age. Yes.
No. I'm asking about you personally. Did
Did I
you
wear
wear
them?
cross colors? Yes. Did you have the
No.
spray painted? No, that's what I'm talking
No, but
about.
I
Yeah,
know what
no.
it is. Yes. And so
Yes.
yes.
Okay. I
So
knew
that's
you
pretty
probably
awesome.
knew what it was. I
Hmm.
just, I know that, depending on our ages, we wear different things. Um, so even if
Jump,
it's in
jump.
style, I don't wear what my niece wears, who's 18 years old right now.
True that. I think we have another comment, and you can read it
Oh
because
yeah.
it's
So
your mom.
okay, yeah. She said she took me there. Okay, so you took me there. Okay, all right. I would imagine, yeah, because I mean, it was. So I have to go back and look to see when it was. I mean, the mall. I think the mall fell at like around 96, 94, 96. So it probably would have been mid 80s to mid 90s. I'm guessing that store was around, definitely in the 80s.
This is the space you walked me by when I was last in Rochester. You walked me by the area that
It's
was.
probably in the area, yeah. It's an empty
Yeah.
lot
Hmm.
now. It's where like a lot of our downtown concerts happen now, or protests. depending on
Yeah.
the day of the week. Depending
Yeah.
on what, what's happening. But yeah, so it was torn down, unfortunately. A
Mm,
lot of, yeah. I mean, yeah, city malls sort of are a thing of the past, but it also had a
mm.
grocery store. And there are no
Oof.
grocery stores now in the city.
Wow, it's a bit of a food
Well, they're
desert.
very, if they are, there's like two, and they're like really close to the edges of the city. But like it being downtown Rochester, there are no grocery stores. And that was the one
Oof.
place that there was.
That is the story of a lot of places, a
Mm-hmm.
lot, a lot of places. And so, but yeah, I'm thinking agency is really important when we're talking about saving Black information futures, that everybody has a stake in it. Something that Tracy Hall said I thought was really important. She hopes to inspire more of an explicit focus on the way that information functions in the Black communities around the world. I truly
Hmm.
believe that it is an
Yeah.
area of inquiry that will benefit everyone. Completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Completely agree. That's been one of my favorite things about working with you, Miranda, and the Nomadic Archivist Project is that we get to meet so many different kinds of people who have all these different interests. Some folks have been doing this like work for years, and other folks are just getting started. It helps us um, build our imagination about what's possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest thing is because it is the global, the work that we do is global in scope. It's also
Mm-hmm.
interesting to see how that perspective also changes how people think about the work that we're doing,
Right.
or dealing with memory work or cultural heritage.
And I think memory worker is such a great term because librarian and libraries and archivists and archival institutions, they can sometimes even people stop at the name. I'm not that. I don't do that. I do this. And it's like, well, memory worker, it's a little more loose, a little more open. And
But one is
also,
about accreditation too,
it is about accreditation. But
or
also,
credentials, and so
and
yeah, so
getting jobs
people,
in
yeah, so it stops
institutions,
people, yeah,
it stops
to
people.
thinking of themselves as that. But
Absolutely, or what's possible, or the thing that, like you mentioned earlier, you're already doing this. You're already saving your grandmother's recipe. You're already um, scanning and you're digitizing photographs, and you're trying to figure out how best to preserve those images and so forth. So folks are doing work um, about saving, saving things. And so I want to be a part of a coalition of people who continuously big up our community on the practices that we already do and the practices that we can imagine and then do those as well. So that's pretty. I mean, why else would you want to live if you can't do that kind of work? That's awesome. Please. Pretty awesome.
Okay, Steven. So, okay, so we're coming to time. So, anything you want to leave us with? So, is there going to be another symposium coming up
Well,
in June, or
just stay in touch with the Black Information Futures
there's a
Symposium.
website? Did you drop a
There's not a
website in there?
website,
There's
unfortunately, at
not a
this
website.
point.
Okay.
However, stay in touch with me or Makiba or other folks who are part of it, and there'll be more information put out in places where you can find it on social media and so forth about the next steps that the project, or excuse me, the initiative is going to take and how to be a part of it. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
we'd
So
love to
they
have
have
you.
to. Okay. Maybe if you subscribe to the NAP newsletter, we always promote anything that's happening.
Yes.
Um, what's happening on the 5th with Black Studies? There is do you have the link, Stephen? You probably don't have the
I
link ready.
do. Let me.
Oh, you do?
I'm looking
Okay.
for it now. Keep talking.
There's a lot of things happening right now with this current administration and
In
academia
response to,
around Black
yes.
studies and the cancellation of Black studies and the cancellation of Black scholars. And there's going to be, and I hear there's about 700 people already registered for this thing. So there's going to be a really big meetup or talk on what's happening and what we can do to sort of advocate and to resist some of these, horrible things that are happening across these different institutions. I believe that Black Studies from Columbia University's, from IRAS, Institute for African
Yes.
Research and Diasporic Studies, is heading it. Jafari Allen is heading it. But yeah, so if you don't see the link, what is it called, Stephen? Because in
It's
case
called
people in
What
the
We Stand to
future,
Lose
what we
webinar.
stand to lose. Yeah. So like look at it through LinkedIn or Instagram. I'm sure it's posted in one of those sites. What we stand to
It's
lose.
it's coming right now. I was looking at a lot of different links, which if I already was looking for that link, because there's a survey as well.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, there's I
There's a lot
feel
of
like
movement.
there's a big response to this. Um, so yeah, but if you are interested in hearing more about these things before they happen, so you can get involved, definitely subscribe to the NAP newsletter. Definitely, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel because we do try to drop information as we have it or get it or know
Hmm.
about it. And then all of you who are here with us in community, can drop information too that you think that the community
Please,
should know about.
please.
So we invite you to do that too. If you know of something happening that you think other people would be interested in on this channel, drop it in the chat. If you're joining us from the future, drop it in the comments. We're hoping that the space will be a shared space,
Hmm.
and that we're all kind of like talking together about these things and thinking together about these things. Anything
Absolutely.
else, Stephen? Don't forget, everybody, that we got a scholarship. Um,
Yes.
the
Nap
NAP
scholarship.
scholarship the applications are due on the 31st. So if you know someone who you think would be interested or you're interested, apply.
Hmm.
Apply.
We appreciate that, and we would want you to be a part of your. I'm just sending the link right now, so you can grab it before we sign off.
And we try
And
to, like connect people too. So if you're not awarded, but we think there's another way that we can work with you or partner with you or connect you with
mhm,
somebody else. We try to do that too. So,
absolutely.
it's, again, it's a simple process. We hopefully it won't be
Mhm.
too much in vain, but uh,
Well,
it's an
every
exciting
effort
process.
matters.
Every
Every
effort
effort matters.
matters.
Every single
There you
effort
go, Stephen.
matters.
I know it's getting
Get me
very
on my
good, Stephen.
soapbox, because I will. I'll get on my soapbox because I know it matters, and I can give out
It does.
great information about how. So, well,
I
maybe
just
that's
know
a
that people's
future.
time and energy is, not limitless. And
True.
so we try to be very, very mindful of that, um, to make
And we're
sure that,
also
when you
mindful
engage with
of
us.
we want you to engage with us, but what matters to you? What do you love? And how do you demonstrate that on a daily basis through your actions?
Yes.
All of that.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for being here with us. Um,
We
and,
appreciate
we
it
hope that,
greatly.
mhm. I think, hey, Stephen, you guys were supposed to have like some lunar eclipse or
I
today.
think it
Did you guys
starts
get that? Like
the
some
second
blood
through the
moon?
third. It's a lunar eclipse, and it's supposed to. You're supposed to be getting it as well. It starts.
Our moon is huge right now. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
our moon is pretty huge now, so it's a total
I
lunar
thought,
blood moon,
yeah, you're supposed
which
to have a
is
blood
visible
moon.
across North America. I saw a little bit of it this morning, and after this, I'm going to go out and hang out. So hopefully, I get a chance to
Oh,
see it.
okay.
But it's raining a bit, so maybe not that visible. But I did see something. I did see it earlier today and yesterday.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah. It's been really
yes.
overcast here, so we're not gonna see anything. But okay.
Mm. But yeah,
All right. Well, good night, everyone. And thank you so much for joining
we
us.
appreciate you, and we'll see you in another 2 weeks.
Yes, in 2 weeks, every second Tuesday, I guess.
I'm
Every
so
other
glad to have
Tuesday.
met you as well. Chinyere E Oto. I know who you are. Yes. And I apologize for mispronouncing your name. But yes, let's talk some more. Stay in touch, please.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.